Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. His phone came back from Horn Island, but Nolan Wells did not. Tonight, we are going to be talking about the Nolan Wells case, very mysterious case, and we're going to be talking about specifically the 90-minute timeline. What happened within those 90 minutes? What happened to Nolan and the last sighting? A lot to talk about. Stay tuned. You'll want to hear this one on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me stand. Judged by the gloss, not the cost. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Let's go.
Hold up, lights on, chat in the room, another late night, and another headline blooming. Coffee gone cold, but the story got heat, and one little detail keep tapping my screen. Coming in clutch, when the timeline bends, we don't just scroll, we connect loose ends. Somebody said, nah, that's probably enough, but the chat said, Justin, we're coming in clutch. Run that back, don't rush that part. Something fell wrong from the very first start. Different day, same shaky excuse, and the math ain't mathin' when we check the proof. I'm not here to play detective for fame, I'm here when the story starts changing names. One clip, one call, one post too much, and the whole room knows we're coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, yeah, the facts stay loud. Truth don't hide when we bring the crowd. Screens lit up and the chat don't sleep. We dig real deep where the stories get steep. Pearls in the chat, lights in the back. Somebody better explain why the story went flat. You can dodge one question, maybe dodge two. With the internet clock, what you said don't cue. Wait. Say that again, you said it was there, then it wasn't back then. You said you forgot, but the record got saved. Now the chat's wide awake and the room just changed.
Coming in clutch when it all gets strange, when the facts get buried and the tone starts change. We don't need drama, the truth does enough, that's why they pull up, we're coming in clutch.
Late night crew, yeah, we built this thing. One live stream turned to a whole damn ring. Members in green miles holding it down. Whole chat moving like a small town crowd. No fake hype, no lazy spin, just one more clue and we're back again. again. If it don't sit right, we don't let it slide. We put the detail right up on live.
Coming in clutch, say it one more time. Whole room locked on the very next line. From the first red flag to the final touch, you know where to be, we're coming in clutch.
When the screen fades out and the night gets still, somebody somewhere knows truth comes real. We'll be right here when the next facts drop. Coming in clutch and we don't just stop.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is 7/11, July 11th, 2026. It is currently 8:09 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Oops. Sorry about that. Apologize. Did 2 round of applause there. Tonight, we are talking about a case that you guys have really been interested in. You guys have contacted me quite a bit related to this case, and it is the case of Nolan Wells out of Mississippi, and we're going to talk about that case. There's a lot of layers to it, a lot of layers. And I've been kind of digging in it throughout the day. Even several of you this morning and last night during the live stream requested about this case. And there's definitely some strange things to it. So guys, before we get started, if you would be so kind and please do me a big favor, hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly appreciate that. Also, if you would share this live stream out, hit that share button, copy that link, drop it in any of your favorite social media. And if you would consider hyping this video, you get 3 hypes a week on YouTube. If you don't use them, you lose them. You have to do it after the live stream on a mobile device, your phone, your tablet, any of that works. So really do appreciate you. A little bit late for my first live of the day. I'm only going to be doing 1 live today, and I apologize for that. I've been out and moving about all day. A couple of my girlfriends took me out for kind of an early birthday dinner, and had things I had to do today. You know how it is on the weekends, trying to get stuff done around the house, right? It's never ever done. So okay guys, good to see you all. Hey, thank you so much, Miss Lori. Appreciate you very much. Thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, make sure you give our OG Lori a big old thank you.
Pearl storm, that's too much. Pearl storm, coming in clutch.
Pearl storm, I can't get enough.
Thank you so much, Miss Lori. Really do appreciate you very much, my dear. Thank you so much. Good to see you, honey. Thank you. Hello, Miss Sherry. Anna to the banana. Good to see you, darling. Miss Ginger. Hello, darling. Lolo. Good to see you, my friend. And Elizabeth. Good to see you, babe. Sweet talking. Hello. Good to see you, friend. Wendy. Anastasia in Cleveland. How you doing, girl? Miss Sherry again. Who else we got up in here? Patty. Good to see you, hon. Wendy. Miss Deb, thank you so much, babe. Appreciate you. The 15th, my love. Lolo. Oh, thank you, darling. Appreciate you. Kins, good to see you, my dear. Appreciate you. Hello, everyone. Yes, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up. A lot to get to. A lot in this case. Put a 1 in the chat if you have no idea about this case, Nolan Wells. Because there is a big discrepancy with what the police are saying, what the family is questioning, and okay, a lot of you guys. Wow. Okay. Okay. I know you know Gerald. I definitely know you. I think he was one of the ones that asked me about this case. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. This is our first live stream about this, and let me just kind of get you started on this. Really sad um, case. This is in Mississippi, by the way, and out with the friends kind of thing that we'll get to. Let me get my notes here. Bear with me, guys. Actually, you know what? I'll just pull this up right here. This is what I'll do. We'll just go to this article first before I even get so, because a lot of you guys don't know it's your first time with this case, and be prepared to be perplexed. Here we go. Y'all ready for this? Let's get it started. What happened to Nolan Wells? This is a July 4th, right? July 4th boat trip. It's that time of year where everyone's out, they're partying, it's summer, he's young. Why not? Right? Why not? But you gotta make sure, and his parents really discuss this as well. Never leave anyone behind, ever. It's so important to never leave a soul behind. And if they absolutely insist to leave them behind, you need to call family or something and say, right here, they won't leave. Now, I would personally probably drag them in my, but I'm not telling you to do that, but just never leave them. You know what I mean? So a July 4th boat trip of 18-year-old's death and family search for answers in the Deep South. A week ago, this is today, yeah. A week ago, 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells took a boat trip with his friends to celebrate the 4th of July on an island off Mississippi's Gulf Coast, but he never came back. Now, I'm going to show you this island here in a little bit. We've got a lot to get into, so just get comfortable, grab your snack, beverage, and listen to this. 2 days later, he was found deceased. What happened, Wells' parents say, is a mystery riddled with conflicting stories, implausible explanations, and missing details. It is a case shadowed by the state's, there's the radical history of Mississippi, lingering distraught in law enforcement. At a news conference yesterday, we're going to get to that, in New York City, Christine and Elmore Wansley called for a thorough and transparent investigation into their son's death. Skeptical of the claims that Wells told his friends to leave the island without him, and suggest that he, an elite athlete, by the way, who knew how to swim, had accidentally drowned. Right? Nolan was a big athlete. I can show you football. He was getting ready. I think he had just gotten Title I in football, or was getting ready to start that, if I'm correct on that. Wells' body was found early Monday along the shore of Horn Island, about 7 miles or 11.2 kilometers from the Mississippi coast, more than a day after he was last seen alive. That's the roughly 11 mile long, 17.7 kilometer spit of land is near the Alabama state line. The island is uninhabitable and accessible only by boat. Again, I'm going to show you that in just a minute. About 200 people were there on July 4th, the family's attorney said, which is which is Crump, by the way, Ben Crump. We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home, Christine Wansley said, looking upward several times as she stood alongside her attorney, Ben Crump, and Reverend Al Sharpton, who will officiate Wells' funeral. This is a mother's heartbreak, as you naturally can see here. Feel horrible. No matter what happened, I feel horrible. They've lost, their son and their family member. Family commissions independent autopsy, and they have went above and beyond with this as well. They have sent his remains off to New York, which is really good. It's out of the influence of anyone, right? From where they naturally come from. Crump said Wells' family has commissioned an independent autopsy performed by forensic pathologist in Washington, D.C. Sorry, I said New York a second ago, with no ties to Mississippi law enforcement, while they await the result of an official autopsy, which could take weeks. They also plan to employ experts to recover messages, got a lot to talk about, remember, appeared to have been deleted from his cell phone, Crump said, the attorney. They will eventually turn those devices over to authorities, he said. Now remember, his phone made it home, but Nolan did not. Nolan did not make it home. Now, an 18-year-old, they're all over their phone, right? He's an athlete. I'm sure alcohol was involved. It's July 4th. He's 18. They're way out there. Things can happen. Things can happen. The problem is there is a lot of unanswered questions that you're gonna see here in just a minute. And there's a recording as well that I want to kind of show you here shortly as well. Give me your freaking phone, right? Nolan Wells was allegedly heard arguing over his cell phone in a video taken before his death. Attorney Ben Crump said the footage captured the 18-year-old demanding, quote, "Give me my freaking phone," quote, end quote, during the July 4th boating trip from which he never returned. Right? The troubling footage circulating on social media appears to offer a possible glimpse into college football players' final hours on Horn Island. It allegedly shows a tense confrontation near the shoreline as several people gather beside boats lining the beach. Now, I think anybody, absolutely anybody, would be concerned if his phone made it home, but his phone was deleted. And then there is allegedly him, you can hear him saying, "Give me my freaking phone," right? Well, hello, Miss Jeff. Good to see you, darling. Green Eyes, Summer Bailey, everyone. Good to see you. Very, very sad case. Okay. I'm going to get to the press conference and all of that. But I want to show you this. It's I'm going to turn this audio off here so you can hear it better. It's kind of a little bit enhanced, but you can hear, "Give me my freaking phone." Okay. The video of him arguing, it's not, but it would raise a question for me. Hear that? Clippy, thank you so much for the gift, my dear. So there's about 200 there, and let's just be honest. You're out from really any civilization, number one. Number two, it's a bunch of young people, right? Number three, most of them are drunk or high, and a lot can go wrong. A lot can go wrong as well. So you never know. You never know. Okay, we got a lot to get to. On this, Clippy, thank you for the gift, and if I missed someone else gifted, if Rachel, thank you so much for the gift, dear. Appreciate you. And if I missed anybody else, I will get to you. I promise you. He sounded angry. Well, I don't know, but let's get to this press conference where you're going to hear. Actually, here's another one. This one might be a better one before we get to that. So you hear, "Give me my phone," and then you hear, "Give me my fucking phone." Big difference, right? Also, Nolan's friend speaks out, which we're going to get to all of that. There is all kinds of video that is now coming out that was going on that day, accounts that we'll get to as well. So bear with me 1 second while I pull this up. Let me show you. Well, first, let me show you where Horn Island exactly is if you're not familiar with it. This is Horn Island. Right here is Mississippi. Right here is Alabama. And as you see, there's a chain of islands out here. Horn Island is a long, thin barrier outside of the Mississippi Gulf Coast, south of Ocean Springs, and is one of the is it Pascagoula? Pascagoula? Is that how you pronounce it? Is one of the Mississippi, Alabama barrier islands that is part of the Gulf Coast island's national seashore. Horn Island is several miles long, but less than a mile wide at the widest part. And that's where we was just showing you. Hold on, there was some, wait, let me see here. Okay, yeah, here we go. Some photos. Obviously, it's not really inhabited, but I mean, it's beautiful. It's pretty much, people just go out here during what time, like during the 4th of July and all that, really, really pretty. People's taking photos. See, here's a dock. Someone built, but there's nothing out there. Nothing out there. Oh, honey, that's sand. That's sand. Yeah, definitely sand. Definitely sand there. Okay, so let's get to this press conference that just took place the other day. Was it today, or it might have been yesterday? Actually, hold on. All right, here we go. Let me get this.
More than that.
Oh, crap.
Good afternoon. To my right are the parents of Nolan Wells.
This is Nolan Wells' mother, and this is Nolan's father. This is Ben Crump,
and we'll hear
their
from
attorney.
them, and of course, attorney of Black America, Ben Crump, and attorney Park, you'll hear from. I want to let me say at the outset that when I received the word of what happened to Nolan and began hearing what was pieced together, it is clear that this situation must have the most thorough and objective investigation
Oh, I need to take
lead
this off.
to justice. What we've been told does
Thank you,
not
Rachel.
make sense. And being that there is lack of confidence in the local authorities, who have already, in my judgment, seemed to have mishandled where it was going. Because to just immediately, before a week time, saying there was nothing done wrong, when we hear that this young man was engaged in some kind of argument that was on tape, that his cell phone and keys ended up with one of the people that were there on the island and got away. He was one black with 3 young white men who happened to end up with his phone, happened to end up with his keys. Then there's just too many questions.
And I've got some video of some white guys that were apparently on that island, and they looked a little bit aggressive. I'll just say that.
That they should not be closing the investigation.
Let me see if I can get louder.
I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm a little different than some of y'all. I was built different. My nose is out here, my eyes are here, my brain is here, which means some things I could smell before I could see and before I can figure out. This does not smell right. So some people are saying, Reverend, are y'all bringing in race? Well, we're not bringing in race, but we're not discounting race either, because we don't know what it is. So to tell us don't rush to judgment saying it was racist is fine.
Listen, they're not saying it's race. What they're saying is that there needs to be a thorough investigation. And who wouldn't want that for their child? Let's just be real. Especially whenever the police agency said nothing wrong here, nothing wrong here. So it's not to do with it's not race. Uh, it's their child, and they want a thorough investigation, and that should be any human being would want that. Doesn't matter what your color, uh, what your creed, what your orientation is. You want your kid. I mean, they lost their kid for God's sakes. Uh, they just need the right answers. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Behind this family, I have told them that whatever we can and need to do, we will do it because this smacks of some of the worst fears that we've had historically, not only in Mississippi, but in this country. And we are there until the end with them. I've been asked by the family to be in Mississippi for the funeral.
Lisa, thank you for your gift.
Which
Rachel,
I'm
thank
going
you for your
to
gift.
do. We just got off the phone with Tyler Perry, the actor who says he wants to help cover whatever expenses for the funeral. We have with us Spike Lee is in the house. Many of our people that have always supported families are there. This is not about them trying to raise money. We're going to take care of that. This is about, though, they got to keep going forward. But we want justice, and let the
Yes, and absolutely. Baby monkey, you're absolutely right. That's true, Justin, but it still has to be considered in the picture because nothing is clear right now. It does, because unfortunately there are racist, bigots out there. There just are. And that exists even in 2026, right? And it certainly does. But what I guess I'm trying to say is that, because the parents is up here, there will be people that points to them. It'll be like, oh, well, it's just because, of, your caller. It has nothing to do with that. They're just parents who just want to know about their child. That's it. That's it. Lisa, thank you so much, honey, for your gift. Appreciate you, darling. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Leslie, thank you very much, my dear. People are cruel. People are absolutely cruel. And if you, I can't explain it to you like like I always say, I'm, white, blonde, and green eyes, blue green eyes. A lot of people of color don't get the same attention that like I would, right? But my kids are of color. So you want your kids to live in a better world than what you lived in, right? And until you've kind of lived it or experienced it, you just don't understand. You just don't understand. You might get it, but Amber, thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you.
fall where they may. If it ends up being one way that we suspect was wrong, fine. But if it's another way, don't back up and play games with this. They are not activists or lawyers. So they only want justice for their son. I'm an activist. When we get there and they say we heating things up, that's what we do. Because sometimes you got to make people sweat to get the poison out their system. I'm the sweat man. And they are the parents that want to see justice for their son. Let me let you hear from Christine and Elmer Wansley and then Attorney Crump. Okay, Attorney Crump, and then we hear from you.
Excellent. Yeah. Uh, Thank you, Reverend Al, for always answering the bell as you have done on so many occasions when families get the worst news of their life. And make no mistake about it, Christine and Elmo got the worst news of their life on what was supposed to be a joyous occasion where everybody was celebrating the 4th of July weekend. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Lisa Park and Jared Presson and Camila Moore. We have the honor and the privilege of helping to lead an independent investigation on behalf of the family of Nolan Wells. Why do you say we need to be retained to lead an independent investigation? It is because the family has distrust of the Mississippi law enforcement officials giving them a fair investigation where their Black son ended up dead after going out on a boat with 3 young white men. The history of Mississippi is something that they don't just read about in books, but it's a lived experience for many Black Americans that oftentimes when our children are killed in highly questionable situations, that there is this notion that, oh, it was nothing wrong, no foul play, let's just sweep it under the rug. Well, we refuse to sweep it under the rug. We refuse to just let Nolan Wells' death be in vain. We're going to make sure that we get to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, because Nolan deserves it. You're going to hear his mother and father talk about what a wonderful young man he was. I mean, doing everything right. Reverend Al, he was not only a college student, he was a great athlete. He was a model big brother for his brothers and little brothers and sisters. And he was a great son who was on the cusp of becoming a man. I mean, Christine and Elmore did everything to prepare him for this moment. He was so close. He was right there. You're going to hear his father talk about him had a good football season last year, but this season he was really ready to go to the next level, to go to Division I. I mean, the highlights that you're seeing on social media of his athletic prowess.
Son of a bitch. I'm just muted. Sorry. I apologize. So what I was saying is that Nolan, yes, there he had some friends there, but Nolan was left there at the island. Some of those friends are going to talk about, or people that was on that island in the boats and on the beach and all that day. They're going to talk about what they experienced, what they saw, and we'll get to all of that. But I am not blaming anybody because we have no idea. But there is questions that any human being would want to know about their a dead 18-year-old. Okay, they're burying their child, and anybody wants to know, would want these answers.
I mean, it is all relevant, because when you start talking about drowning, I mean, this is a kid who knew how to swim. This is a kid who was in tip-top shape. He was a superior athlete. And so I'm going to get to that in a moment, these glaring contradictions, but to try to say, oh, we're suggesting it was just an accidental drowning, you can go ahead and move on. Well, they are not accepting it. They are not accepting it. They want to know
Let me show you this
that
photo.
you have not taken the path of least resistance, that you have done a full.
This is one of the last known pictures of Nolan. I mean, yeah, obviously there's alcohol. Alcohol can be a very much contributing factor to someone drowning. Nobody is arguing that. Parents aren't arguing that. Nobody's arguing that. Sorry, I probably just glitched out there, but he was in Title I football, if I'm correct. He was a swimmer, all of that. Why was he left? Why was his phone blank? How did his phone make it back, but he didn't? Don't ever leave your friends behind. Hell no. Hell no. Absolutely not. Never leave. Amber, thank you so much for your gift, honey. Appreciate you. Lisa, thank you very much. Appreciate you as well, my dear. Thank you. If I missed your gift, I will get to it at the end, I promise.
Thorough, impartial investigation, because it cannot be lost on anybody, but especially us in the Black community. If the roles were reversed,
you know, and this is the thing. It's no. Police there are police, and you guys know this as well as I do, that some police departments are absolutely lazy as hell. Let's look at Sheriff. In my opinion, Nanos took the shortcuts, and then it becomes this big ass case. And in my opinion, they took some shortcuts. They just want to make sure that this is outside of any sort of influence. You know what I mean?
And you had 3 young Black men on a boat with a young white man. And that young white man ended up dead. What kind of investigation would be being conducted by the Mississippi law enforcement officials? How many times?
And you know, that as well. I mean, let's, you know, what if it was 3 Black men and you know, 1 white man that died? You know what I mean? Would it change this police's how they investigated it? I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying think about it.
Would those 3 young Black men be interrogated? So all we're asking is the same consideration you would have given if the roles were reversed. Give that consideration
Love you, Miss Sherry.
to this family as well. That is our fight. The glaring contradictions just jump out at you. The fact that
Yes,
he
Christine,
is
thank you so much. I
there
appreciate
with
you.
his friends, and you look at all the videos, it seems to be he's the only Black on the island, or maybe one other, but not many.
But Sharps, and you know, and I listen, I understand, I get it. a lot of people, when they think of, Ben Crump, or they think of Reverend Al Sharpton, they think, especially if you're on a different political party, and this goes for whichever side of the aisle that you're on, there's might be a negative connotation. I don't want us to look at it, in my opinion, as political. I just want justice. Not justice. I want answers for Nolan's family. And if that is foul play, we need answers. If that is not, we need answers.
And so, Jared, you have where a young woman he was talking to says that, well, Nolan said he was going back to get on.
I personally don't think it's necessarily race either. I think it would, in my opinion, if it's anything, it's that either people there is not opening up, or it was a lazy investigation by police, in my opinion.
The boat with the boys. The boys say that Nolan told them he was going to stay and talk to the young.
And, Roller, I completely understand that. I completely understand that as well. That's a very fair point. It's a fair point. Because, we have not lived others' experiences as well. You know what I mean? So I think, and sometimes until we live others' experiences, we can only see from what we've experienced. You know what I mean?
Woman.
I just try to be fair with everything, as fair as possible, as I possibly can, at least.
They're not saying the same thing. One of them is telling the truth. One of them is not. We have to get to the bottom of that. It's important. And then the fact, Reverend Al, that they have this video of an argument that is going on. And thank God, all young people, they have cell phones, and anytime you hear people raising
Everyone
their
has
voice,
the right
they
to
start
their
the video.
opinion.
And so you hear on the video, Nolan saying, "Give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing?" And
everyone has the right to their opinion. Yes, Tracy.
When you think about
thank you, Rachel. Thank you,
story
love.
that they are presenting, that Nolan chose.
I mean, I think with anybody, like I said, if it's your kid, and they didn't make it home alive, and they didn't make it home with their friends, and there's this recording that says, "Give me my freaking phone," or "my effing phone," you would want to know. You would want to know. So doesn't matter about the caller. You just, as a parent, you want to know about what the hell's going on. And thank you so much for the gift, babe. Appreciate you. Oh, well, that doesn't sound right. Why did they take his phone? We're gonna get to that. New investigation found away from island. Make it whatever. They have to get the, yeah. We just want answers.
To stay behind. That's what they're saying. But his phone,
Listen,
he wouldn't take that with him if he's going to stay behind on an island. I mean, we're talking about an 18-year-old kid.
Okay. Now, okay. This is an 18-year-old kid. How does his phone remain on the boat, but Nolan is not on the boat? Right? I mean, if his friends say that he wants to stay behind, an 18-year-old just doesn't let their phone run. You know, that they're not going to leave their phone on the boat and say, you just go on without me. And then you hear this recording of give me my fucking phone. Is this just a coincidence that give me my effing phone? You hear it twice in that recording. And then Nolan's phone is on the boat, but Nolan's dead in the water. Maybe he jumped in the water. I mean, anything is possible, right? And we're going to go over some of those theories and stuff. But if he told his friends, I want to stay here, right, on the island. Now, maybe he would get a ride with somebody else, but did he know other people on that island? There's supposedly 200 people that was on that island throughout that day. Why would he not take his phone? And then let's say he forgot his phone. Let's just say he forgot his phone on the boat. There's the recording that I just showed you, right? Listen to this. You hear, give me my phone right there. Give me my phone, and then you're going to hear, give me my fucking phone. Okay. All right. So just remember that. So anybody is going to want to know. Now, again, we're going to finish listening to some of this because I want you to hear the parents talk, you know, the questions and stuff. But we're going to get to some of the friends and all that.
What teenager would leave their phone behind if they're going to stay on this island? What teenager wouldn't take their phone? And so it's not adding up. It's not adding up at all. The fact, as Reverend Al said, you know, they didn't take his phone with them. His mother, when she finds out that her baby is missing, they start trying to track the phone. The GPS the phone, they've used Life 360, and they discover that, well, the phone is on land. The phone is on land, but you're saying he went missing on the island. And so it's not adding up. And so they go get the phone. And you hear her tell herself, when her and her sister start going through his phone, Jared, they realize that there are deleted messages, so they're trying to figure out, well, why are there deleted messages on his phone? I mean, it becomes relevant when you start putting everything together where we can't just say, oh, there's no instance of foul play. We're going to get to the truth one way or the other. The fact that And this really makes no sense to me, Reverend Al. This notion that where he drowned, y'all have, I'm sure, seen all the videos out there. I mean, if he's drowning, nobody sees him drown, nobody offers assistance, nobody tries.
Right. I mean, 200 people. You got to remember there's supposedly 200 people on this island. Nobody seen him drown? Nobody?
To help him. I mean, obviously, he stands out. I think, the only black person I saw when I'm looking at the videos. And if you see him drowning, you mean nobody is going to try to help him? It's not adding up. It is not adding up. And that's why the family, at their behest, we had an independent autopsy being performed. And we thank Colin Kaepernick for helping to pay for that independent autopsy. And we thank Tyler Perry for helping to pay for the funeral. Because as Reverend Al said, these were just regular parents going about their life. They weren't expecting any of this. And then we're having to try to hire all these experts to be able to go and see if they can retrieve deleted messages. We have to have experts. You'll hear from Attorney Park talk about, where the body was found when it was recovered and how long it took to be recovered. We think all of those are relevant issues to trying to understand what really happened to.
So, Nolan's phone returned to the mainland without him. His mother says Life 360 showed the device on land while other people were checking his Snapchat location. The family arranged for someone to retrieve the phone from a friend's residence. When Nolan's mother and aunt examined it, they said both Snapchat accounts lacked pictures or saved Snapchats from the July 4th outing. They considered that highly unusual because Nolan reportedly documented social gatherings frequently. They believe materials may have been deleted. Right. This is an 18-year-old, July 4th. Of course, he's going to take some pictures and some snaps. He documented everything, allegedly.
Nolan Wells. And this independent autopsy is so very important because we had his body flown from Mississippi.
So they had his body flown from Mississippi to Washington, D.C. to do a autopsy, independent autopsy. Now, some questions, the forensic analysis that they're going to do, they're going to make sure when his phone was last connected to cellular device or Wi-Fi, when it left Horn Island, who possessed it during each period, whether it was unlocked after Nolan was last seen, whether any photographs, messages, or apps recorded were deleted, whether deletion occurred locally or through a cloud account, whether location settings were changed, and what the operating system logs, battery data, app cache, and all that preserves, right? So they're going to be checking all that stuff for sure.
Mississippi to Washington, D.C., because his family wanted to make sure that they had a doctor who had no ties to Mississippi law enforcement to do an independent examination of their son's body. And we are hopeful to get that result.
And that that video, by the way, that you hear, give me my effing phone. They're gonna obviously check where that video came from, which device it was recorded from, the GPS, on that. If it was edited in any way, they'll check the cache on that phone as
in the
well.
very near future. We were hoping we would have had it today. However, as you all know, here in New York, they canceled all the flights yesterday, and so it took
His body was found a day later, drowned.
a long time for his body to get to the medical examiner's office in Washington, D.C. But rest assured, as soon as we get those results, we will make them known to you, because we believe transparency is very important. We want to lead by example. We want them to be transparent, and we want to be transparent. We know they conducted the autopsy. We are waiting on their results as well. The final thing I will say is this.
Nolan had Life 360, and the parents pulled it up, and his phone was at the friend's house. Yeah, the friends gave the phone to the parents. That's
If there are any people on that island, any young people who recorded videos, who
Okay.
witnessed things.
Now, here's another thing, right? The Coast Guard raises questions as well, some major unanswered questions. The Coast Guard confirmed receiving a call from one of Nolan's friends at approximately 11 p.m. on July 4th, but said the call did not require Coast Guard assistance. Nolan's mother says she received a call from a member of the boat group minutes later. The Coast Guard has not publicly disclosed exactly what they were told. The next confirmed Coast Guard action occurred at 12:26 p.m. on July 5th, when the sheriff's office requested assistance searching for a missing person near Horn Island. A helicopter was sent and a marine alert was broadcast. What information was provided during the 11 p.m. call? Now, remember, the question is, these Nolan's alleged friends left. They said Nolan wanted to stay on the island. If he wanted to stay on the island and they went home, why are they calling at 11 p.m. if he's not missing or anything is going on? You get what I mean? Why are they calling at 11 p.m. on July 4th if he hasn't went missing yet or anything? I don't know. We'll get into a lot more of that in just a minute. Miss Tina, thank you so much, my dear. Very kind of you. My nephew, same age as Nolan, died camping with friends and alcohol. Oh my God, I'm sorry. His dog went into the water. Nephew went after to try to save him. Nephew's body was found, but not his dog. Oh my God. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, honey. Thank you for your support. That's
who may have saw Nolan
tragedy.
at any time on the island, please,
So we're going to get to
please,
time gap.
let us know. Please call bentrump.com, call the 800 number, just any information. They are desperate. We're in a ferocious pursuit.
Okay, so don't forget. So what information was provided at 11 p.m. when they called the Coast Guard? We don't know. Perhaps the caller is just asking questions, right? Perhaps Nolan was not yet reported missing or endangered. So listen to this. The point here is listen to this. Nolan's car was reportedly parked at the residence where he stayed on July 3rd. His father later retrieved the keys from that same residence. They were reportedly found on top of an Xbox after some confusion. The father described the encounter as tense and felt he was being misled. Right? So there's that. So you're seeing a lot of layers here, right? Maybe all of this is a coincidence. I don't know. But all I'm saying is if you're a parent, you would want answers as well. Period. Just period.
For the truth. And y'all, if it was your child, wouldn't you want everybody who knew something to let you all know? This is a hard one, Rev, because it's so tragic on so many levels. Rev, before we bring the parents up, why don't we have Attorney Lisa Park, who is helping to head up the investigation with our office.
My name is Lisa Park. I'm the senior attorney for the Ben Crump Law Office in Atlanta. It is our honor to work with the family to try to find answers in this case. I think that most of you at this point are aware of Ben Crump Law and many of the cases that we represent in this country. Some of these cases you don't know anything about until we get involved and we shed some light. And we explain to the media what has happened. Right. And
now, Nolan could have just left his car keys at the place he was staying at on July 3rd and put his keys on the Xbox. But most people take their keys with them. He may not have. That's not inherently necessarily suspicious. I don't want to say that it is. But the father also, Nolan's father, says that he felt like he was being misled and it was tense. And then, of course, the phone that we've, been talking about. And then there is the body discovery does not settle the timeline. The National Park Service ranger found Nolan's body at approximately 8:45 a.m. on July 6th in the water near Horns Island's northwestern end. Nolan's father says he and Nolan's coats searched and circled the island the previous day, including the general area where the body was found, and later saw nothing. Now, again, that may not be anything. It just depends. Sometimes you can be literally standing next to a body sometimes and not see it. It happens all the time. But it's just another question as well. Crump asked questions like, why did the body not appear sooner? That they're going to have to check on where he originally most likely either drowned or was placed, and the way the ocean, the current was, right? As well. So the autopsy, they'll going to determine of whether it'll determine whether he drowned or not, right? If there was water in his lungs as well.
You all let America know what has happened. Sometimes
Oh yeah.
cases come.
Yeah, they'll be able to know whether he was alive when he entered the water, whether he had any blunt force, trauma, how much alcohol was in him, or rugs or anything like that.
And you all already know about it. This is one of those cases. I saw this in the news before I got a call from Ben. This was already huge in social media, already out in general media. Why? Why? Because it doesn't take an attorney. It doesn't take a special investigator. It doesn't take someone with extreme training to know right off there's something wrong here. This is, as
Yep.
Ben has put it, not adding up. It is so obvious. There are so many people in this country that go missing, right? Everybody knows this. But this case has captured everybody's attention. Think about why. You know that something is not right. It doesn't take us. It doesn't take the Reverend Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, to tell you and then think, oh, now I know something's wrong. We know something is wrong. And for every single person that was in Horn Island, and we know there's about 200 people, there's a lot of people. We know that Horn Island is a popular place during the
Again, for me, it's that the police department has said this is nothing to see here, but we've got these questions about the phone, about the keys, about this video of saying, give me my fucking phone, all of this, right? So how can the police already say, damn it, 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry. How can the police say, I just knocked over my light, nothing to see here?
holidays, it's a popular place on the weekends. You have to get there by boat. It's the only way to get there. You have to leave by boat. It's the only way to leave. So many people out there. If you are watching this, if you see this, and you are struggling about what to say or what to do, you know what the right thing to do is.
I'll be here all week.
Call Ben Crump Law. There's this thing called the internet. It's very easy to find that number. Call us. We have an entire call center. They're waiting to hear from you. If you didn't go to Horn Island, but you've heard something, because people are talking. They're talking with each other. They may not be calling the police.
Okay, let me just get to the parents real quick.
I wanted the world to meet my son, but here we are. So, as you know, I'm Christine Wells Walmsley. I am Nolan Wells' mom. And Nolan is the kindest soul. He never met a stranger. He loved everybody. He didn't care if you were black, white, purple, green, looked like a marshmallow. Like, he just wanted everyone to be in peace with one another. He loved life, and God gave him this big heart. which always scared us.
Now,
Me and his dad had conversations.
Nolan's mother of Nolan's Wells' friend shares DEATH threats she received amid the investigation.
With him all the time, not just about the importance of understanding our history as Black people, but also
Can you send it to 307, Dad?
how you have to move in certain spaces.
I think you sent it to the other one.
And it's not us being, feeding into racism or the stereotypes that comes with that. Unfortunately, that is just a matter of fact. There have been many cases, many instances that shows it is unfortunately a pattern that he did not like. He did not like that there was so much division, and I think that's why God gave him us. He was really a peacemaker. He wanted, like I said, everyone to be included. He never.
I don't think it's because Rocco. I don't think, in my opinion, it's because he's Black. And I know Ben and Al and them, they're putting a lot toward, like, about the collar and stuff, but I think it's about the investigation. Would if it was 3 Black young men, and and let's say Nolan was the white guy who died, would the police have dusted it off this quickly? And whenever there's a lot of weird questions here, you know what I mean? So I think they raise valid points, in my opinion.
Wanted to leave anyone out. He just, even at a young age, I don't know, he was, how old was he? No, not 18. So his father and I were having a moment, and as couples do, and even in that moment, he runs in the room with his diaper on, of course, and he starts dancing.
This is Nolan.
Because it was like he could feel the tension. He could feel that something wasn't right. So he was just a special kid. Like, he was a special kid.
I'm a hillbilly.
But again, just heart was so big. And we're gonna miss him dearly. But we are.
What I think everyone needs to. What I think everyone needs to look at is there's unanswered questions here, and anybody wants to know what went on, and specifically if you're, in my opinion, like, a parent, you would be asking the same question. Not so much, even the caller or whatever. It's that there's some weird shit that went on that we don't have answers for. And regardless, whether Nolan's Black, white, cream, red, purple, whoever, he's an 18-year-old kid who is now dead. And with 200 people on this fucking island and nobody knows a damn thing? Come on.
Friend
His
Tashima,
phone
who
makes it
actually
home?
was one of the people who helped us that night. She went and picked up his cell phone from where it was and then provided that to us because we of course contacted authorities to figure out who to do the report with, whether it was the county or the city, which then turned into DMR, who I contacted immediately from there. And, but so our friend actually, when I called her, Nolan is best friends with her two sons, Jalen and Javon. When I called her, I said to Shima, have you seen Nolan? He's missing. No one has seen him. No one has talked to him. The boys were actually with her sons. So they opened up their Snapchat because a lot of the kids do have their locations where they're tracking one another. So one of the boys says, well, it's showing that I can't exactly remember what his location was showing, but my Live 360 location was showing something completely different.
Okay, listen to that.
It was actually showing that.
Listen to this. This is important right here.
It says, well, it's showing that.
Listen to this.
I called her, I said to Shima, have you seen Nolan? When I called her, which then turned into DMR, who I contacted immediately from there. And,
listen to this.
So our friend actually, when I called her, Nolan is best friends with her two sons, Jalen and Javon. When I called her, I said to Shima, have you seen Nolan? He's missing. No one has seen him. No one has talked to him. The boys were actually with her sons. So they opened up their Snapchat because a lot of the kids do have their locations where they're tracking one another. So one of the boys says, well,
you're going to hear a lot of
that. I can't exactly remember what his location was showing, but my Live 360 location was showing something completely different. It was actually showing that his phone was like he was on land. And so we ended up, she received the phone from that parent, and then we met up where his car was, which was at a separate location. There were issues.
Okay, so mom's got Live 360. It's showing that his phone is on land. His phone is at a friend's house. They get the phone, and his car is at the place that he was staying at on July 3rd, and the keys are on top of like the Xbox or something like that. And that's when the dad went to get the where I was talking about earlier. The dad went there, that he felt like he was being there was some tension. Feel like they was leading him away,
obtaining the key. But even so, there's just a lot of.
Tell them about what happened with the key.
So I'm gonna let my husband tell you about that because he actually went up to the door to
that's correct.
get the key, because at that point I was just not in my right mind. This has just been an awful situation, just terrible.
Elmore Wansley, father.
Okay, so the situation with the key. When we got to the house, a few of his friends, they were already there, and they were at the door in the house asking questions. So when I walked up, they were getting, things were getting kind of tense. So I turned to them and told them, I need you guys to calm down. I don't do this to me right now. I need them to kind of trust me so they can give me something. So I was able to calm them down. So the guy, he's in one of the pictures. He came out of the room, half asleep or whatever, I think Jack's or whatever. And I said, look, I'm Nolan's father. I'm here to get his keys so I can get his car. I said, he's like, his car's parked in New York. So he was like, I don't know, man. Nolan's like my brother. I said, well, if Nolan was like your brother, would you please go on your room and see if you can find my son's keys so I can take his car home? He walks off. 2 or 3 minutes, come back.
So so another thing to this, one of the guys involved, one of the young men on the Horn Island trip was Warren, the son or stepson of Mississippi Judge Ashley Cole. Some reporting calls him her son. Local reporting more precisely describes him as Cole and her husband's son, like her stepson. He was reportedly part of the original group that traveled with Nolan. Judge Cole publicly said Warren last saw Nolan at about 3 p.m., that the boat left around 4:30 p.m. After taking on water and having pump trouble, and that Nolan chose to remain and return with the other group. She also said Warren was interviewed and fully cooperated with the Jackson County Sheriff's Department.
I can't find the keys. I said, okay, so at that point, I get the boys and I get move them out the house because I didn't want them to go into the house and start tearing up these people's houses because they'd never be a hold in the situation. So we walk outside by the car. One of the guys that was in the house with us, he was on the phone with a girl, and the girl told him that Nolan's keys were on top of this Jack's guy's Xbox in the house because apparently she was there with him earlier. So he goes back up to the door by himself, and 5 minutes later, the keys come out. So now I feel like you lied to me. So now I'm really like in distress with you. But as far as the night goes, if I knew anyone who had a boat, I would have went out that night looking for my son. We tried, but I don't have friends with boats. But if I knew someone with one, I would have went out that night. And this so happened that his coach saw all the stuff on Facebook that next morning and contacted me like 5 in the morning, asked me if we want to go out. And I told him yes. So within an hour, he was at the dock. We met him and we went out. We docked the boat, got off the boat, walked on the island, walked a pretty nice stretch, came back, got back on the boat, around the island, looked, came back around, and where we went to, that's where apparently they say that his body floated up. I don't know a lot about water currents or whatever, but I would think that we would have saw his body. Mm-hmm. And on the trip there was a family that stayed a night on the island, like actually tented out on the island. So if he was left, he would have saw that family on the island, and it was 2 other boats docked, so he would have had help. So I don't know. I think we stayed there for like an hour and a half. That's when Jackson County and the Sheriff Department showed up, and they were going to do their rounds. And I had a classmate of mine, him and his 2 boys. They came out and they searched.
I'm going to show y'all something here.
Touched me and said the Coast Guard had finally showed up in airplanes. So
thank you, Leslie and Lisa, for the gift.
What they're saying is they went out on Sunday, and the Ty body up, he went missing on July 4th, as they say. His body should have been there on July 5th. Why would it not appear to July 6th? And that's one of those things that's just not adding up. And the fact that if he stayed behind on the island, there were boats there. There were people. Somebody had to see something. That's why it's not adding up. And that's what they're saying. It is just not adding up.
Yes. And if he was there 2 days, somebody on the island would be able to verify that. 2 days and nobody's come forward and say, no, he was with us, or no, we saw him. It just does not make sense. Make it make sense.
Just one last thing.
Let me show you something here,
We want
guys.
her to talk about the cell phone deleted messages.
You're talking off mic.
I'm sorry. I thought my voice was loud enough. One last thing. We want to have Christine talk about the cell phone from her perspective before they tell you who Nolan was, and then we'll take your questions.
So when we made it home, my sister and I actually went through Nolan's cell phone, particularly Snapchat, because that is so popular with the children. And when we opened it up, there was nothing. There were no saved pictures. There were no
Okay.
snaps from that day.
None.
And we did open it before the 24-hour expiration.
Okay, that's really important, right? You'd think he's an 18-year-old who's out there July 4th, he's going to be snapping, right? Okay, this is TMZ. Let me find it here.
Have you seen the video that's been going around social media where people think that they're hearing an argument between people and they're wondering whether or not Nolan is one of the people in that argument? You just described that you had another friend, not Nolan, another friend who was in and got into a dispute. Is that video the other argument that you were talking about?
Yes.
So, but is that Nolan in the video?
I can't tell. It's too far away. But in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear. Like from the side, it's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in that altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So
Describe that. That's kind of
Okay, so there's all, according to this friend, he says that there's an altercation going on with other people. Now, again, you mix young people, heat, 10 miles from land, alcohol, probably rugs. People can get cray-cray.
interesting. What was that about?
he was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were just trying to, like the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
I'm curious if the police have, I know they said they're still investigating. Did any investigators ever speak to you about what you saw that day?
No, sir.
Really?
Okay.
Cops have not talked to you.
Now listen to that right there.
They're still investigating. Did any investigators ever speak to you about what you saw that day?
No, sir.
Really?
Investigators haven't spoken to this kid. He was there, a friend?
Okay.
Cops have not talked to you yet.
No, sir.
That's odd.
I don't see why the cops would have. I don't see why the cops would have to talk to me. I mean, obviously, like I had said my plea, like, because whenever I had talked to the people at Sunherd, it was whenever the body was discovered, and the autopsy people and all those people were there.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm surprised. Because you knew Nolan well, and you knew that he was friends with these guys who were the last ones to be around him before his body was found. And I would think they would at least want to know, hey, just the things we're asking.
Right.
Did you ever hear of any of this stuff? It's odd to me.
Just to gather information.
Yeah, that the cops wouldn't have contacted you. Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, I'm completely fine with that. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. Like, that's my boy, and I want him to find justice. Like that. Like this whole case thing. Like whatever. Like this whole situation, and none of this adds up to me. So like, it's really hard. Like for like people to just like keep on saying things when like none of it adds up, honestly.
So one of the things that I'm sure, Javon, you've seen has been a big part of this story, people making the point that, at least in the photos that we initially saw, that Nolan was the only African-American kid who was out there, at least on that boat. Do you think, having been there on the island with this large group of people, that race plays a factor in whatever happened here?
Again, I don't want to answer that. I don't want to answer that question. I wouldn't say like, yeah, I wouldn't want to answer that question. I mean, obviously we go to Ocean Springs, we're going to have white friends. So like, that's, I mean, I guess it's pretty normal down here, but.
Yeah, I mean, and I hear you. If that's, I
Yeah,
guess
I
you're saying that it's normal. It's not out of place to be a black teen in that area and that you have white friends, right? That's
Yeah, like-
not uncommon, is what you're saying.
I'm sure every black person has white friends somewhere, you know? So I wouldn't say that it's a whole race thing, but it's just like, obviously they're going to paint it as that because none of this adds up.
It just,
let's be honest.
Goodness gracious. Okay. Did y'all see this? Does anyone know what this is about? This is supposedly on that island that day. This guy's got like a bloody nose or something. And you can tell there's some like aggression going on. Is that the fight that you were talking about?
Mas pegaram só o menininho?
Aham.
Não, tem outro grandão lá que levou também.
Ai, não. Mas o mão dele batendo fraquinho é fácil, né? Pega no seu tamanho, doido.
Não, esse negócio de bicho não é agora tamanho, não. O negócio você não pode tomar a primeira. Ó, alguém chegou um grandão. Opa, opa. Vai, grandão, mete o pé nesse trem, doido.
Dá nele, derruba esse homem aí.
Vai, ele vai. Olha lá, ó. Ele vai. Deixa ele ir, gente.
I hate that people fight. And I hate that, I don't know, they were really drunk. Well, yeah, and this is out. There's no police there. You know, it's 8 miles out into the ocean. They were very, very drunk. Very drunk. And, you know, that's weird. There's a lot of weirdness there. Let me show you this. Some major aggression. Yeah. What kids drink. That's what they do. Yeah, exactly. Someone, this is Javon, wrote, the people Nolan was with had 2 boats tied up together. I'm not sure which boat he rode out on. They were both filled up, apparently, which is why I went out with a completely different group of people. My people's boat was further down on the island when I last seen Nolan. When I said around 3:40 or 4, I can't give you an exact time because I didn't have my phone there. Was still a big group of people out there. One of my friends got into an altercation and I went to check on him for about 15 to 20 minutes. When I came back, the people Nolan were with had gone. I didn't see Nolan. Then they were gone. I don't know where he could have been. I don't know. So I head out to the people I came with. Yes, I received my phone later on. If you're wonder, oh, how didn't you see Nolan when you got your phone? Again, they had 2 boats out. Let me see here. Why is this freezing? Okay. Okay. 1 second here. Now, someone also talks about this call, or this about give me my effing phone. Nayla, you can see me and my husband standing in the back of the boat in the video. The person yelling is someone in our boat who was a mixed guy, by the way. Not that race matters, but to a lot of people around this case, it does. Also, the guy yelling is also a part of the friend group Nolan was with and had been around them all day. But the guy was yelling because he got in a fight with a white guy and we broke it up and put him on our boat. He was pissed because he wanted to fight and we wouldn't let him. 2 other white kids ended up fighting. The original fight starter, white guy. But the video is taken after the fight was already over. And DMR also showed up shortly after. Video was at 4:01. I remembered seeing a video on Anna's story and told her to look through the footage. We saw someone resembling Nolan in the background. He was not involved in any way with the actual altercation that happened. We were just trying to help with the timeline of things and possible documented sightings, since it was originally stated that he was last seen at 3 p.m., but the video is at 4. We weren't 100% if it was him, though. It could also help if it was him to identify who was potentially last with him. Okay. In reference to where we're out there next to where he was 7:30, and he was not there, left behind anywhere near us, and they just took it and ran and leave us around 5. This is really weird. It's really weird. Linda, thank you, or Amber, thank you so much for your gift, baby. Appreciate you very much. Oh, they need to be pinging everyone in that area. Any phone that was in that area between that timeline. Yeah. If there's all those people around there, all kinds of phones were out. Something is really wrong here.
Already felt like it was coming. Although they have not, a body has been found at Horn Island. This is the update I did not want to give, but we kind of already felt like it was coming. Although they have not identified it as Nolan Xavier Wells, who else can it be?
Some more information that I found out, that Nolan walked off with a girl. Where is this girl? What is her name? What has she said? Second.
Okay. What's with this girl theory? Who is this girl?
It's kind of funny how Nolan left his phone. No teenager leaves their phone. No teenager, because they like to document everything. So how was his phone left? Second, this woman said that a girl put a message talking about these boys in this picture are no good. They needed to be investigated. She goes to school with them, or she went to school with them. Another girl that was at Horn Island said these boys were partying in the pool at 7 o'clock. Nolan went missing at 3. You mean to tell me you didn't know there was a black speck missing out the group? Nobody was searching for him at 7 o'clock. Yeah, shit's not adding up. No, my mom always had a rule. If ain't no black folks going, you ain't going either. Because we can never trust them to look out for us.
Oh, okay. Okay. So here's News 13. Now he was not. I'm sure there was other. So that woman who took the video is saying also it wasn't Nolan arguing. Correct. Correct. Okay. Trying to find out about this girl here. 1 second.
New details tonight on what happened in the hours leading up to the death of Nolan Wells, which has sparked national headlines.
We know now that a call was made to the Coast Guard around 11 p.m. on July 4th by a friend of Nolan's. Wells had gone out to Horn Island with a group, but didn't return with them. He was found dead just off the island Monday morning.
Okay, so about this girl, the young woman who has not been official or has been reliably identified by authorities or major local reporting, WLOX and other coverage refer to her as, quote, a girl or a young woman Nolan was reportedly speaking with on Horn Island. Okay. Ben Crump says she stated Nolan told her he was going back to the boat, which conflicts with the claim that he chose to remain behind with her. A name Katie is circulating and appeared. The Times of India reported that, but also report says that there's no public confirmation that she was Nolan's girlfriend at all. Do I feel it's racism? I'll let his parents be the judge of that. And all that, you know, I want every human being to have justice. That's just it. It's just that, you know, I'm a white male, but, you know, my kids are of color. And so I'll let his parents do the speaking. I think as human beings, we make things way too fucking complicated. I think we make things way too fucking complicated, way too fucking political, and we get our feelings in it about our own belief system. And I think everybody's a human being first. And we should want justice for every human being. It kind of makes me sick the way everyone wants to politicize it or pervert it into their own, how they believe. To be honest with you, that's what kind of pisses me off about these things, you know. I don't give a fuck if he's purple, pink, or whatever. Every human being deserves justice. And he's an 18-year-old dead kid. He's an 18-year-old dead kid now. And that's what we should be focused on. Just disgusting. People just fucking twist it and turn it. Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is the thing. People, you know, an island out in the middle of nowhere, drunk, young people, hot, no law enforcement. You know, what could go wrong? What could go wrong, right? Oh, you're fine, soldier. Girl, you're fine, baby. Thank you so much for the finger heart, baby. Appreciate you very much. You know, I mean, I don't think, you know, Nolan's friends, you know, I mean, look, this is, I'm assuming one of the last photos. Right? I don't think, I think we twist it into our and pervert everything, really, because again, I don't think, and again, this is coming from a gay white guy with kids of color. Okay, so I got it all. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone in this photo here is inherently, in my opinion, racist. Right? I don't believe anyone in this photo right here is inherently racist. They're kids, they're young adults who are having a good fucking time. And I think people try to save their ass if they get drunk and all of this, and then people twist it to how they want to fucking twist it based upon their belief system. You know, I mean, I think we should be, you know, as people, you know, I don't really like that, but it's just fucking ridiculous to me that we had, you know, a country where people were judged upon the melanin of their skin. It's crazy to me. Makes me insane. I mean, just fucking ignorance. And it still happens in 2026. Whether this has to do anything, you know, again, like I said, I'll let his parents do the talking on that. I'm not going to say what this is or this isn't. I'm just here to say there needs to be an investigation, and these questions need to be clarified, and that Nolan is a human being, a young human being, and he's got parents that have a dead kid now. So I don't know. People get all in their fucking feelings with this stuff. It's beyond, soldier. It's just crazy to me. I don't know. I believe most people are really good. You know what I mean? Let me find this. Did they have a press conference? Yeah. Okay. Let me go to this. This is what we're going to go to Law and Crime Network right here. We need answers. Absolutely. We need answers. Oh, it's yeah. Absolute ignorance that people judge when someone because their color of their skin or what religion they are or who they love. It's just fucking crazy to me.
A judge who is apparently directly connected to this case, now broken her silence. We're talking about Chancery Judge Ashley Cole, whose son was one of the friends out on the boat trip with Nolan, posted a lengthy statement on Facebook saying, quote, "Our son loved Nolan dearly. Unfortunately, I feel that it is appropriate for our family to dispel some rumors with facts based upon the social media attention that is being diverted away from the Wells family and their loss. Our son was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taking on water and they had an issue with the bilge pump. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends.
Yes.
My family is hopeful that this information will help to redirect the attention to the Wells family, their grief, and their need for our community's support." Joe, first of all, this is a judge, right? Second of all, didn't have to make a statement.
I mean, this is the thing though, right? This autopsy, I think everyone needs to ask the questions and all that. And I think the parents and them are extremely intelligent for getting an autopsy done in Washington, D.C., out of that area. And it's going to tell whether there was water in his lungs, the blood gas, all of that. It's going to tell whether he was alive when he entered the water. And so that's going to, in my opinion, clear up a bunch of this, right? A bunch of this. Because if he drowned, there's going to be water in his lungs. Indisputable.
Made a statement and gave some very specific details about the last or some of the last movements and activities of Nolan. What do you take away from it?
The judge is putting her toe in the water. Judges often go out of their way not to make public statements because they're judges.
Appreciate you.
And it is interesting that she's making this statement. And I will give you 10-1. Jackson County is probably a small enough place, figuratively, if not literally, where I will give you 10-1 that she knows, or the prosecutor. She knows the prosecutor knows her. She knows the investigating agency, or the investigating agency knows her. And she knows the coroner's agency, or the coroner's agency knows her. So when you put all of that together, and I'm the family of this
Thank
deceased,
you, Amber, for the gift.
that doesn't necessarily put me at ease. I think there's two things that you can agree with right now between those families and those parents. I don't believe either of them wanted the son dead, okay? And I believe that they both understand that the judge doesn't want her kid to go to jail either. So all of this is going on, which makes transparency.
Yes, exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. I mean, here's the thing. They're all parents. The judge's mom, she's a mother, right? She don't want her kid to go to jail. Which makes transparency the most important thing, especially in this case, right? Transparency. And everybody should want that. Not what we how we want to twist it to make it seem. Let's just find the fucking truth and let it fall where it falls. For Nolan can rest easy, and his parents and the community and all of us. Patty, thank you so much, honey. Thank you for your gift, honey. Very kind of you.
Related to the investigation, all the more important. And even though she framed it as something that would divert attention back to the family, she's talking about the family's grief. She's not talking about the family's justice. So there's a difference there in terms of what it is that's happening. How you see things depends on from where you sit. And I don't think she had to put her toe in the water at all. She decided to, but I think that says a lot as well, potentially.
Didn't you think it was interesting? Another group of friends. He went with another group of friends.
Yeah, it's on them.
That was interesting.
Yeah, potentially on them. And so, but did he leave the other group of friends his cell phone? If that's true, what they reported is that somehow they showed up, the group of friends that left him showed up with his cell phone. Now, they say it's a pretty remote place and there's not a lot of service out there. I don't know how well your cell service works or whatever, but it seems like to me, I'd keep my cell phone. If I have a 19-year-old kid, whether I thought it was going to work or not, it wouldn't occur to me to leave. So that's the biggest question right now. It's actually, it's circumstantial evidence. If that, it's not DNA, it's something like that. Why did this kid leave them the cell phone if that's what actually happened? I wasn't there. So it leads to some very interesting questions. And when you put all of that together, now I can see both sides of the coin as to why Judge Mom might want to put her toe in the water.
Let's get into where law enforcement is with all of this. So the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, they put out an updated press release and asking anyone who was on or near Horn Island on July 4th to come forward if they have any original unedited photos.
I mean, look at this island, right? I mean, I think it spans 10 miles or something like that. You know what I mean?
Or videos that were taken around that time. The sheriff's office even said even information that may seem insignificant could prove valuable to investigators. We encourage anyone with firsthand knowledge to come forward. And the sheriff also noted that there are no surveillance cameras on Horn Island. So that makes any footage being captured or capturing anything at all more valuable. Joe,
Nothing.
What does this tell you that the sheriff's office is now putting out that appeal? What are they hoping to find? You tell me.
Well, I thought it was interesting to me, and maybe it means nothing to someone else, or maybe it means nothing to them, and it's nothing to be alarmed at, but they're asking for just firsthand information. Quote, firsthand information, photos, things like that, photos, videos. But right now, I don't know that you want to be discriminate about the information that comes in. It's your job to sort through it. And if not for any other reason, then all of the transparency that the circumstances now require. Okay. Just like going to court, if I'm going to court, hearsay might not get in. It might not be admissible, but it is discoverable. Maybe if one of these kids' girlfriends heard one of these guys say something, one of these girlfriends' friends said, oh, I've got regrets. That would be something to follow up on, even though it's not firsthand. So right now we can talk about firsthand information later, but anybody that's got anything to say, when you put out a dragnet for information, in my opinion, you don't tell people, just give me this type of information, because you are the investigating agency and you can decipher and discern what's good, what's not, what you can follow up on. And I think that with a lack of cameras, with a lack of a lot of the firsthand information that you may have in a place that's more inhabited, et cetera, I think it makes it all the more important to get information from wherever you can, and you do the work to sift through it so that you avoid the appearance of impropriety in both actuality and perception. You've done everything you can do to answer every question that you possibly can so that everyone can move on.
Talking about video, it is worth noting that there has been some speculation online, including these reports from TMZ, that authorities are looking at a video that allegedly shows this heated argument that occurred on or near that island that day. I will tell you, I don't know if you've seen it, but I will tell you the sheriff's office hasn't even confirmed that. I don't know if you've seen this video, but what are your thoughts on it?
Well, that's another thing to follow up on. I tell you, as a side note, it's amazing how often, we've got all of these news outlets, the ABCs and the CBSs. Often, here's TMZ with, boom, this thing, you know what I mean? And you have got to follow up on it, because if there's potential that actually happened there, that might explain something, And so I'd better have that information, investigate it, figure out that I don't need it, than need that information and not have it. So it's another thing to follow up on, and it's another piece that might help to explain why.
I want to thank some of you guys for these gifts, because there's Lisa, thank you so much for the jewels. I appreciate you, Lisa King. Jennifer, thank you for the sunshine jewel. Lisa, thank you for the star again, and thank you for the 100 jewel. Appreciate you. Amber, thank you for the star jewel. Lisa, thank you for the sparkle. Amber Young, thank you for the sparkle. Clippy, thank you for the star. Joan Marie, sorry, I apologize. Thank you for the floating heart. Rachel, thank you for the star. Lisa, thank you for the chili. Patty Wine, thank you for the flower. Rachel, thank you for the star. Pam, thank you for the unk. Thank you so much, hon. Very kind of you. Rachel, thank you for the floating heart. Lisa Gillen, thank you for the star. And thank you again for the floating heart. Leslie, keeping it real. Very, very kind of you for sending the turn it up. Very generous of you. Amber Young, thank you for the floating heart. Rachel, thank you for the sparkle. Rachel, thank you again for the 100. Lisa Killen, thank you for the happy poop. Thank you. And Amber Young, thank you for the star. Lisa, thank you for the 100. And Lisa, thank you for the sparkle. Christine Oval, thank you for the floating heart. Summer Breeze, thank you for the floating heart. Christine Oval, thank you for the very generous stay hydrated. Thank you very much. Rachel, thank you for the star. Ant, thank you for the star. Amber Young, thank you for the star. And Charissa, sorry, thank you for the finger heart. Appreciate you very, very much.
They show up
way
with his cell phone, but not with him. Assuming that happened, I'm believing the report, but there's just things that don't quite make sense. And parents know.
Thank you, Amber.
If there's something amiss, if they know that their child wouldn't be without their cell phone, I know my child wouldn't be without hers in any instance, not voluntarily. And so does that mean that somebody needs to have the book thrown at them and get the electric chair? No, not necessarily. But it is something that we got to follow up on, and we got to leave no stone unturned. And the judge didn't talk about that.
No. And look, and goes back to the larger question about so much attention, pressure being put on. There is also, I should mention this, there's also pressure coming from outside law enforcement. You have Representative Benny Thompson, Mississippi Democrat, has urged investigators to conduct a transparent and timely investigation. The NAACP posted on Instagram saying their hearts are with the family and friends. And I actually want to go now to something about the family because, look, they're going through something that nobody should have to experience. I mean, it's one thing to go through this, but having all the...
Thank you, Gwen, for the Cash App for your birthday. Buy something for you. Thank you very much, honey. I appreciate you.
This attention now on it. And Nolan's mother has been posting to social media throughout this. And she shared the heartbreaking news when his body was found. But now she's asking for something else. She posted this to Facebook recently. It says, quote, "Missing our Nolan so much every second of every day. This has been the worst time in our lives. Watching his siblings go through the motions of grief adds another layer to the sadness. Please keep us in your prayers and continue to respect our privacy." There is another layer to this, because if we speak about videos or we speak about, videos that are out there, apparently there are these AI generated videos that have been circling online appearing to show Nolan's mother saying she won't have a funeral for Nolan. There's a video even appears to show clips allegedly of him.
These damn AI videos, man. Ugh. They do the most. These AI. That's the one thing that I do not like in true crime. You'll see them especially on Facebook and all that. They'll have like a crime scene and like pulling bodies out of the water, and they're making this poor mother, at the very minimum, her kid is dead, man. And this is the thing, it makes all of us as true crime creators, I think as true crime creators, we need to denounce those people at the very least, because, you know, it makes us, doesn't help any of us.
His mother posted the video to Facebook, calling it fake, begging people to leave the family alone.
Hey,
this is a whole different
Good
problem
to see you, baby.
for victims and victims' families, or those who just lose loved ones in 2026, right? I mean, what do you make of this? And by the way, does someone have a legal right of action? Do they have a legal cause of action to go after people that make AI videos of them?
Well, boy, it's a loaded question. It's a perfect example of ways in which the law may not have quite caught up with every potential
It is changing with the AI videos. I think actually Paris Hilton, they were making videos about her, and she just went to Congress, and they as far as like making PORN videos, making it look like it was like Paris and all that. And so there is some things, you know, finally catching up, which it should be.
Circumstance that's related to AI, that's related to technology, right? And so therefore, there's a question. If there is publishing of something that someone knows not to be true, there's potential for defamation. It's really interesting because I never thought of defamation so much in that particular context. But if someone is saying something that's knowingly not true, that might be a route, depending on, you know, what jurisdiction you're in. Infliction of emotional distress in all of its forms, intentional or negligent.
I would also imagine someone using your name, image, and likeness for personal profit. If you're making videos and getting clicks on it and getting money for it, I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's something too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so there are things there. You know, you have to kind of adjust your thinking a little bit because we're in this AI generation. But again, now you're talking about AI. You're talking about what's real and what's fake, and how it can take us away from what's actually important. You've got implications here of race. You've got implications of politics and all these other things. And so therefore, depending on who you are, you know, whether you're talking about, you know, it's amazing, whether you're talking about this deceased young man or whether you're talking about Caitlin Clark, you have situations where people with different agendas can take it and run with it. And now they're incentivized to make something real, fake, or vice versa. And it's kind of a problem. And how do you wade all the way through it? So even though the family put out the word to try to get help and figure out where their son was,
yeah, but you don't need to be, you know, there are people like that with the AI, they're twisting it, saying that, you know, this is, you know, something about the fundraiser or something like that. Stop twisting it, people. Life is complicated enough. It is so complicated enough. We're gonna stay on this, y'all, and continue to follow this. I don't know. I just want Nolan to find, and his family to find peace. That's literally the only thing I care about is, and this is the thing, everyone should want Nolan and his family to find the right answers. Nolan's friends who was on that boat that day should want the right answers, right? Period. Everyone should want the right answers. Thank you, little black bear. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you and lovies. Very sweet of you. If you receive that, make sure you thank Little Black Bear. I think there was a couple more that I needed to think.
Sticker meals clears.
Let me see here. Yeah, we need the truth. Alicia Hot Wheels, hey darling, thank you for the clutch. Appreciate you. And what was this? What else? I think there might have been. Patty Wine, thank you for the floating heart, babe. Appreciate you. Amber Young, thank you for the floating heart, babe. Appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, guys. I will probably be live tomorrow. It just depends. Not sure yet. But if I'm not live tomorrow, if I am live tomorrow, it's either going to be really early or really late. I've got some things to do tomorrow. So it'll be either early or late. I want to talk about the 16 in Ohio, what's going on with that. That's just an absolute crazy case. Poor kids. I've been been researching things about other cases of truly feral children. So we'll be talking about that. And I want to talk about Xavier. I got some information I spoke to some local news reporters about Xavier on some things. So we got to talk about that. And maybe Nancy Guthrie. We'll see. We just kind of have to see, play it by ear. Hey, Hamitude, good to see you. All right, guys, appreciate you all. Jungle Book was made based upon a case in France of a feral child. Fun fact. Really? Thank you, Miss Linda. Appreciate you, darling. Make sure you guys are subbed up to my Kick account. I'm going to try to go on tomorrow exclusively at a certain I don't know what time, but make sure you're subbed up to my Kick, because there'll be times where I'm just live on Kick and there'll be times I'm just live on YouTube. So make sure you're subbed up to my Kick. Download the app. They have a phone app. And yeah, all that good stuff. All right, guys, love you. Mwah. Special thanks to mods, members, everyone in chat. Really, really do appreciate you. I'm full of fun facts like that. Yeah. Thank you, Deb. Is it Roxy? Soja. I'm subbed. I spelled my name. Spelled wrong, though. That's okay. I don't know if they have a light version or not, baby kisses. They might. All right, guys. Love.